Hello, lovely humans, and I just smacked my microphone. And welcome back to my channel. Now, before we even get into any of this, I have a question for you. Do you want to go steady? Do you want to make this official between you and me? Because I think that'd be great. Personally, I feel like we're at that point in our relationship, So if you want to scoot on down there and hit subscribe, we could go steady. Okay. Oh, and as a massive celebration, we will be doing a 3-year anniversary sale on a bundle of some of our master plan goodies, so be sure to stay tuned to the very end to hear some of those details. It is high time that we did a DIY here on this channel. If you are new here, every once in a while, I have to make one of these videos to justify both to my accountant and to my husband all of the crafting purchases that I've made. So every once in a while, we got to do this, okay? But this week's video is going to have kind of a fun twist. Sometimes coming up with DIYs can be a little bit difficult, and I want it to be inspiring and fun. And so I feel a lot of pressure with the conception of a DIY, not necessarily the creation, but coming up with it myself. So I decided to do something a little bit wacky, okay? I created DIY dice. It sounds a little ridiculous, and now saying it out loud to the world is obviously a teensy bit goofy, but I really do think it's gonna challenge me to come up with creative things. So the top die has all these different styles moody, boho, elegant, and rustic. The middle die has all different price points, anywhere from $5 to $30. And the bottom one has the item that I should be creating. We've got sign, we've got floral, we've got table numbers, we've got invitation. Now, I will not be making $20 invitations. I won't even be making $5 invitations, because if you're spending $5 on an invitation, that is bougie, okay? And we like to be bougie every once in a while, but we also could be a little bit more clever with our finances. So for this week's video, I rolled these for the first time, and I got $5 rustic floral. And I was like, this too soon to do a $5 centerpiece, okay? Mama needs some more time. So I decided to make a boutonniere, okay? Start off nice and easy. Now, most boutonnieres could be anywhere from $10 to $20 a piece, with good reason. They have to be made at the last minute because they don't have a water source. And obviously, because they don't have a water source, they die more quickly. So I definitely wanted to see if I could come up with something a lot cheaper. Now, some of the rules I've laid out for myself with these DIY dice challenges is, one, I can use the supplies I already have at home. I didn't think it was financially smart or sustainable to go out and buy the items I already have. So every once in a while, we're gonna bust out the Cricut, okay? But there is always a handwritten alternative to what I will be doing. 2, it's the cost for the finished item that I'm looking to achieve. So while I spend $30 on supplies, I could potentially get 6 boutonnieres out of it. So I went to Joann's, got down with my crafty self, and made these gorgeous things. Just so cute. Hold on. Look at. Look at that delicious. Be prepared to hear me talk about this ribbon a lot, because it's so good. So good. Look at. Not at my bad manicure. Look at the boutonniere. Is that just not the nummiest textures? I'm so excited by this. So without further ado, let's just jump right on into it. For the boutonniere, I got 4 different bundles of faux florals. Now I'm just gonna state here right at the top, I don't think this DIY would have been as possible if it wasn't for these 2 beauties right here. The fact that they came with multiple different types of flowers and textures on them was a game changer. So if you are gonna repeat this DIY, be on the lookout for a combo floral pick and not just flower picks that only have one type of leaf and or floral on them. And as you can tell, I was going for a specific color theme here, and all of them have very natural looking textures. And riding that rustic organic wave, I also got some feathers and the most delicious blue teal velvet ribbon you've ever seen in your gosh darn life, right? And some scissors, pliers in case I need to cut through some of the wires, and my trusty hot glue gun. First step is to take apart the floral picks with all these different foliage elements in them. I wanted them to stay attached to their wires for as long as possible because it made it a lot easier to work with them. So once I peeled off the paper around the main stem, it was a lot easier to separate them into more specific textures and colors to get a better idea of what I'm working with. And repeated the same action with the rest of the florals as well. I kind of already had a vague idea of what I wanted to do with the overall design, and that included having some sort of back to the boutonniere. And I thought that these red leaves would make a really good backdrop for the rest of my design. So I started off with 2 of them, but because I didn't want it to look like antennas, I made sure to make one taller than the other. Now, just because you have an idea worked out in your mind doesn't mean it's always gonna work. So I do recommend taking some time and playing around with different designs until you find exactly what works for you. For me, I knew I didn't want to start gluing until I had like a solid plan, and I didn't have a plan for a while. It may be time-lapse, but this was about 12 minutes of me trying to figure out what I'm doing with my life and why I'm sharing this DIY on the internet. But here we are, and spoiler alert, it turned out okay, which is why this video's, going live. Because if it was bad, we wouldn't be here. I think it was probably at this point of the DIY where I said, you know what, Jamie, just start gluing stuff on there. You can't have a do-it-yourself project if you're not actually gonna do anything. After tinkering around for far too long to try to come up with the perfect design to show off how cool I am on the internet, I decided let's just start attaching things. I knew in my mind that I wanted to have about 5 different elements and textures in the boutonniere because I think that's what makes it feel the most organic and realistic. While I do love a simple boutonniere, I think our eyes are drawn more to textural elements, at least mine are, which is obviously why I bought a bajillion different things at Joann's to make sure I could really pull off this look. Personally, for me, I really feel like dried dried textures and feathers, and even that faux thistle look just scream rustic because it looks like we just went outside and scooped up all of these things without a care in the world, even though it was carefully curated from the floral section at Joann's. But when it comes to rustic design, you really want to go for this effortless feel. Now, as you know, behind the scenes, as you've seen, this has not been effortless. It's taken me a while to figure out what exactly I want this to look like. In the end, our goal should be to achieve something that feels organic, feels like you just scooped it up outside and placed it into an arrangement. As you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different texture elements, and all of them at varied heights. And now it's time to cover up all the stems, and I picked out this absolutely delicious blue teal velvet ribbon. Velvet is very in right now, and honestly, I don't see it going anywhere for the foreseeable future. So I thought, let's show the crowd how trendy I am by picking out a rad ribbon, right? This is basically where you cover up the stems. Now, I do recommend keeping the stems as long as possible while making the boutonniere because you can always cut them off later, but it can be a problem if you cut them too short too soon. And in case the tutorial hasn't made this abundantly clear, I am hot gluing the heck out of absolutely everything. So I hot glued the top of the ribbon to hold it in place, stretched the ribbon around as I wrapped it, and I'm gluing the end of the ribbon down as well. Now, if I was being a little bit more particular, I probably would have wrapped the stems with something green to make them look a little bit more lifelike so that red wasn't popping out underneath, but it didn't really bother me enough to change the DIY. And to be honest, I am just so smitten with these results. Look how stinking cute that is. And because I just simply can't help myself, I decided to make a handful more and filmed it. So please enjoy a soothing time lapse with wonderful background music as we create 2 more. Okay, let's talk totals. In total, I spent $22 on supplies, but have enough to make 8 boutonnieres. Y'all, that comes out to $2.75 a piece. I figured I'd land under $5 a piece. I just didn't know that it'd be almost half of that. So hopefully this inspires you guys to get on out there, try your hand at DIYing, and see if there's a way that you can save money on your event and still have a gorgeous wedding day. If you've made it to the end of this video, first of all, congratulations and thank you, and you're welcome. Second of all, newbies, this one's for you, okay? Not to say that people who haven't been around here wouldn't benefit from something like this, but this specifically is going to be the most helpful for those who just got engaged. If you already feel like you are in over your head, this deal is for you, okay? At the end of this month, we are going to be having a sale on the Master Plan bundle. It's going to be 12 months access to the Master Plan and the Master Plan Club, which is a group that I get together with once a month and in real time live answering your wedding planning questions. So if you feel like you need extra support and extra guidance, this is the spot for you, okay? So that's all we have for this video, folks. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully we're already going steady down there, you know? Like, hopefully you've already gone down there and hit subscribe. But if you haven't, you know what to do, right? Okay. Oh, and ring the bell so you can get notified every time I upload a video, okay? You don't want to miss out on the sale. Love you to bits. Mwah. And until next time, that's not my outro. Bye, guys!